Welcome to the deep dive. We're here to pull out the key insights from, well, a whole stack of sources just for you. Today we're tackling something really powerful, is this idea of a long-term mindset and the serious edge it can give you. Our goal here, to figure out exactly how this way of thinking builds certain qualities, really strong ones, that help you, cut through all the noise.
It's absolutely fundamental. A long-term mindset. See, it doesn't just say be patient. It actually helps you develop patience and discipline, resilience too. Think about training for a marathon. Maybe you don't just go out and run the whole thing first try. That big, distant goal, it forces you to accept small steps, right? That builds patience. And getting out there every day, even when it's tough, that's discipline, built bit by bit. And resilience, well, when you hit a snag, like a small injury, focusing way out on the finish line helps you push through, recover, and keep going. It's practical, it conditions your mind.
Okay, that's a really important point. So it's less about just uh, riding out the waves and more about building a boat that can actually handle rough seas. Is that kind of the idea? Tell us more about how it keeps you steady, especially with all the ups and downs, the short-term volatility we see everywhere.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is how it dials down those emotional reactions. The panic when the market dips or when a project hits a bump, when you've got that long view like a 10-year investment goal or a solid 5-year business plan of the daily stuff, it just becomes smaller, less
Yeah,
significant.
right.
Imagine the market drops, say, 5% a day. Someone thinking short term might just panic sell, right? Driven purely by fear.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
But with that longer perspective, that 5% drop is just, well, it's noise. You remember your strategy, the real value you believe in, that far off goal. So this mindset is brilliant at filtering out all that constant, frankly irrelevant noise. And that really boosts your clarity, lets you make much smarter strategic choices. You're acting deliberately, focused on value, not just reacting to headlines.
Okay, so it protects you, helps you filter the chaos. That makes sense. But it's not just defensive, is it? What about actively building something, growing it? That compounding effect people talk about. How does the long-term view actually help create that kind of success?
Precisely. That's the shift from just managing volatility to really driving compounding growth. And look, this isn't just about money compounding, it's effort, it's knowledge, even relationships. They compound too. That growth happens because you're consistently lining up what you do today, this week, with those big lasting goals. Think about a company, maybe one that pours money into R&D year after year, even if profits look a bit flat sometimes.
Right, while others might cut back for quick results.
Exactly. A short-term view might say, cut R&D, boost this quarter's earnings. But the long-term thinker, they understand those investments, those foundations, they lead to the big breakthroughs later. Sustainable advantage. It keeps your eyes on the prize real value, the overall strategy. Instead of getting, swept up in fads or worrying about the next quarterly report, you're making choices that build something lasting.
Building for lasting value, not just chasing quick wins. That really resonates. So taking all this in, what's the big takeaway for our listener? What does this mean for you beyond maybe just investing?
Well, if you zoom out a bit, the ability to filter noise, to get clearer, to connect your actions to what truly matters long term, that's not just for Wall Street, right? It applies everywhere. Learning a skill, building a career, even nurturing important relationships, cultivating this perspective, this long-term view, it can genuinely change how you approach things. It really empowers you to sort of sidestep the immediate distractions, the emotional knee-jerk reactions, and focus on building something meaningful, something that endures.
That's a really powerful thought to end on. We definitely encourage you to think about where bringing in this long-term perspective could make a real difference in your own life, helping you cut through that noise and reach for those bigger goals. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive today.